You know what? They're right, Colby.
What's that, Barry?
It's not like in the books. This
that quote works on levels on this movie.
What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
Oh, this is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. Welcome back to the second week of They Did What? And today I feel like I got not a doozy, but one that maybe you guys weren't expecting, at least on this list.
Right.
All right. Okay, so like before we actually even unveil this whole thing, how excited, without giving away the movie, how excited were you when this movie got announced?
Oh, originally?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Like, pee my pants happy.
Because you were like, you know, you're a part of that world.
Right.
You know, you had the store.
Yeah.
And everything. You knew the lore.
Yeah.
You've been around. You were probably, when did that? I'm gonna think. Did that series didn't come out like in the 70s, right? Or is it the 80s?
So he originally got introduced probably in the early 80s.
Okay, and then
maybe the late 70s, and then kind of disappeared for a while. But then when like the series came out, that was
early 90s, late 80s,
late 80s.
Yeah, just because I remember I bought my friend that trade because he was a huge fan, and I was like, I think I bought it from your store. As I was like skimming through, I was like, oh wow, the art is like pretty. You could tell sort of what era that art was from. Yeah, I was like really excited for him to do this movie too, just because he was coming off a stint from another series, and that one. A lot of people love that series. I'm indifferent to it, which might be blasphemous. People are gonna be like, "You like Toxic Avenger, but you don't." Oh man, but you know, it was nice for him to. It was funny because some people were just like, "Well, that's just that movie, but religious."
Yeah,
but no, I think you know what, like, you know, I think we can't talk about it more without even revealing it. So let's do the Dr. Seuss trailer.
I'm like, and all the people are like, What store are they talking about? In case you didn't know, I used to own a Lululemon distribution store. No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
This has to do with yoga.
Yeah. Yoga hosers. Okay. So, 1 pack a day, that's light work. When your job is to keep balance and slay fiends, you need an outlet by whatever means. But when John gets told he's got a year tops, monsters are less scary when you're against the shot clock. So will Angela and John make a great team? Let's find out in 2005's Constantine. Yes, we are talking about the... What's it, Hellblazer?
Hellblazer.
Well, what was the... It wasn't DC. It was like the Vertigo, right?
Vertigo.
Yeah, we were talking about the Vertigo comic series. Or not series, but movie. Constantine. Starring Keanu Reeves. Now people are going to be like, wow, he didn't like The Matrix. I'm just indifferent to it. Yeah. Also because like it came to light that the Wachowski sisters now stole that from a black lady who had written books. It was like stolen. She got paid out.
Remember hearing something like that. I think she got
paid out like $1.2 billion or something like that. That's crazy. All right, so like Colby had said, when this movie first got announced, super excited for it, but there had to be somewhere inside of you, because you're a comic book. You're the comic book guy.
Right.
That you're like, well, he's not blonde, he's not British.
You know what? I got the early Hellblazer books. Oh, so Constantine actually showed up originally in Swamp Thing, and then he was part of the Dark Justice League.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, he got Hellblazer, and I remember when the Vertigo titles all got announced. It was Sandman, Death, The High Cost of Living, and I remember like Black Orchid. I remember picking up like all of them just because it was like, ooh, new, cool, yeah, and like the art style was all like this different kind of scratchy.
Oh yeah, it was very like crosshatch type of. Yeah. Really cool art style.
And I read all of them for a while. And then I kind of like fell off of all of them. So it was probably at least 5 years between when I was reading the comic and the movie came out. So then it makes it much easier. It's not the comic I'm reading right now versus the movie.
Yeah.
That's when it like my head is hard to. They're like, this is not. It doesn't look this. But when you get a little space, then it's much easier for my brain to distance the two things. So I like Keanu. I'm like he's
Bill and Ted. I was gonna say that you were a part of that. Like I think you guys are. I think you and Keanu are pretty close in age.
Probably.
Yeah, and so when Bill and Ted's Awesome Adventure first came out, you're like. He's just like me.
Right. And he is still like there's always been a little Bill and Ted in him in every movie that he does. This one was one of those ones where there was a little bit more of a departure where like what's it, Matrix? Him as the office guy in Matrix, like before he goes to the Matrix, that's totally like Bill and Ted just grew up and got a desk job. Like I'm
Adventure's over.
It's 100%. Like I could just that's just him. That's this one you get some of it in there, but at least it's a little bit of a departure.
Yeah, it's awesome too because like obviously you grew up more with Keanu Reeves than I did. Because I think my first introduction to Keanu Reeves was probably the Matrix movies. Mm-hmm. But then like because you're also there for Bram Stoker's Dracula, where he had that terrible British accent.
Oh yeah, that was 100% Bill and Ted fight Dracula. Yeah,
like he just got separated from Bill.
Right. And so the Matrix kind of worked with that too because he's like, oh, I used to do time travel. And now I'm just gonna go into like another dimension, like jump out of the Matrix,
become a robot Jesus,
dude.
Yeah, so like so for me watching him from that, I think between Matrix and the Constantine movie, he had the movie The Watcher, where he was like a serial killer. Yeah, he was a bad guy.
Okay.
It was he's like a stalker or something like that. So like I didn't have that predisposition of him being like, what's up, bro?
Yeah. See, the other one was Jake Gyllenhaal because he was Bubble Boy, and it took me till he slept with Heath Ledger that he wasn't Bubble Boy in every movie that he was in.
You're like, oh, he could really act. I think I went from. It's funny because when you talk about Jake Gyllenhaal, I think I went from Bubble Boy to Donnie Darko, and I was like, well, that was a turnaround.
Oh, see, and like I missed Donnie Darko till like way later. It was already like cult classic when I was.
When you finally probably caught it at the show.
I think I actually saw Donnie Darko 2 before I saw Donnie Darko 1.
Was he even in that?
No, it's his sister.
But I remember
not his real life sister. But it was the story the story of the sister from the first movie.
But I remember when I first heard, I was like, oh, what? They're making Constantine just because, like, first of all, I'm Filipino, so we're always into the supernatural and superstitions. And funny enough, little Filipino drop, we're in this movie. Did you have this on DVD already?
I did not.
So you watch it on TV?
Surprisingly, I didn't.
Yeah.
I did watch it on Tubi.
Yeah. So it's funny.
And they gave me like 5 commercial breaks. What the hell, Tubi?
Oh.
You getting popular? You start charging more for your commercials, throwing
I've
more in there?
always gotten like at least 3 to 4. Every time you told me you only gotten one, I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
This was literally the most commercials I ever saw in a Tubi movie.
I mean, this movie was fairly long though. I didn't remember it being 2 hours.
I might also watch movies that. Oh no, we watch them for this. But I might also watch movies where they're like, we only have to put 1 commercial break in because we only paying like a penny a viewing for this one. And Constantine's got some names in it, so they're like, we had to buy the rights to this movie to play in.
Yeah, because this movie had, I mean, starring Keanu Reeves, Rachel Weisz from the Mummy series.
Yep,
that's where I remember her from. Cause that's
Agreed.
where my
Agreed.
Yeah, because that's where my love for brunettes came. Mm-hmm. And plus, paired next to Brendan Fraser, who was just George of the Jungle and Encino Man.
Right. Like, absolutely.
And I saw myself in Brendan Fraser. I'm like, yeah, I'm goofy. I'm tall for an Asian.
See, now Brendan Fraser is one of those ones I saw him early, and then I saw him in a movie as a serial killer. And it was like immediately like, oh, this guy's got range. And then he did the movie where he was like the athlete that went to a Catholic school, but he was Jewish and he had to lie about his religion. And that was super dark. And so then when he went back to like started working with Pauly Shore, it wasn't like, oh,
so jarring.
He's the same person all like that.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser, I felt like he didn't get enough credit early on in his career.
Right.
But I think that's only because his biggest commercial successes were the comedies with Pauly Shore. Yeah. Which is unfortunate because, I did remember watching a range of his movies and I was like, oh, okay, well, he's not just a caveman.
Right.
Who else is in here? Oh, Tilda Swinton.
Oh, this is... I feel like this is the first time I saw her. Like, I don't remember her before this, and then I feel like she picked up after this, and I remember her being in lots of stuff since.
Yeah, I think it's because she's like from Europe, right? She's like a European actress.
It may be, and she may have done more like kind of
stuff back home,
drama kind of stuff that I wasn't as into.
Yeah, and who else? Oh, Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, right. This was like peak Shyla.
The guy who played Papa Midnight.
Yeah.
I always forget his name, but he was also in the Marvel movies.
Right.
Star-Lord.
Yeah.
That was him. So yeah, this movie's super packed with a lot of recognizable people. But let's get into talking about this movie, right? We open up in a shot in Mexico.
Right.
And these two people, I feel like they're trying to look for things to recycle, possibly. But one of the guys in the white shirt, or no, the red track jacket, his foot goes through the floor, and he's like, "What the hell?" Right. And so he picks something. First of all, I don't know why he's sticking his hand in the dark.
So the worst thing that happens is you get bit by a scorpion. Yeah, they're fine.
It's like if a DM was like, "Oh, a black hole just opened up next to you. Do you put your head in?" It's like, all right, well, you
do a saving roll.
It's like it's a setup. It's a clear setup. But he sticks his hand in there and he pulls something out, and it's a blade.
Yep.
And you're like, "Oh, what happens?" But as soon as he like unravels it and touches the blade, he starts hearing voices like.
Yeah. Yep.
And then he gets like entranced or bewitched, and he just starts walking. And funny enough, when he started walking, all I could think about was and I was running. Because he had that stare that like Forrest Gump had, and he was like, and I just started running. But like his friend is like, "Hey, like, hermano, where you going?" Like, and then he gets completely blindsided by like this 1965 Chevrolet.
Yeah, he's definitely dead, but then he's not.
He should be. It's like someone put an immovable rod over there.
Yep. You might as well have just drove that truck into the juggernaut.
Yeah, because, and like, I think at that point his friend stopped calling out to him. Because he was like,
Yep.
demonio. And then he hops over a fence and he just starts walking.
Yeah.
Then we cut to LA. Right? And then there's this woman, she's making some tea. And then she tries to go into this room, but then she falls to the floor and she's like, oh my God. And you're like, what is happening? And then in the corner, it's Spider-Gwen. All right, if you saw that, right? You're shitting. I'm shitting my pants. Like,
yes, yeah.
Releasing bowels.
Yeah, right.
And so the entire floor is like kind of freaking out. Like their whole apartment is open and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden a taxi comes into the building and steps out John Constantine.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Shia LaBeouf's his driver.
There's a reference I did not understand. I was like, I'll ask Kobe. Maybe he'll know about it. Because they have a conversation afterwards. But he goes into the building and he's like, what's going on? But no, like he figures like, there's a possession that's happening. And then so he starts to, he introduces himself to the demon. He's like, I'm Constantine. John Constantine.
Right.
Asshole.
Yeah, remember my name.
Yeah.
Bitch.
I felt like he said it because he was like, you demons know who I am.
Right.
Right?
Yo, yeah. That's exactly what.
Yeah. But then he starts to read something. The demon starts talking, and it's funny if you have the subtitles on Tubi. It says demon starts speaking in an unknown language. It's not unknown. It's Tagalog.
Oh.
And the demon pretty much in Tagalog just says, "I'm gonna kill this vessel." That's like a more clear way. The way he says it in a direct translation is, "I'm gonna kill this person."
Yeah.
But demon vessel, So John's like, and this demon looks like it's trying to claw its way out of the skin.
Right. Oh yeah.
And so John, he starts to prepare something. He looks out the window. He tells Shia LaBeouf to move the car.
Right.
And then he tells the people in the floor, like, hey, give me a mirror at least 3 feet high.
Yep.
And then, so they set it all up. And then he tells everybody that's holding this mirror above them to close their eyes.
Right.
And you could tell the person that's not gonna.
Oh, right. Yes. Yep.
Meanwhile, his friend, Father Hennessy, which kind of ironic.
It's an appropriate name.
He's like helping John and all that stuff. And he finally is able to cast the demon outside of her, or like just reflect the demon into the mirror or something.
Right, because you can see the reflection of a demon in a mirror, so he can separate that, like, so that you could see the girl laying in the bed, and then you could see the demon laying in the mirror,
Yeah.
And then he could separate the two of them.
Yeah, which is crazy. And so and then at that, when that happens, he starts to notice that the demon is trying to claw or like break this mirror to pass onto our plane. And so he forces this mirror out, like he breaks the frame and everything, and then the mirror lands on Shia LaBeouf's taxi, and he's like, "What the fuck?" He tells Father Hennessy, Father Hennessy has like some sort of amulet around his neck,
right? Yep.
And he's like, "You're supposed to have faith, Padre." I always want to like be friends with a priest so I can call him Padre. It just feels like I
just need a Spanish priest friend.
Well, no, it's because it's all like every time I've seen Clint Eastwood in a movie where there's a priest,
right?
He always calls him Padre.
Yes, yeah.
But no, he tells Father Hennessy, like, call me whenever you need me. Don't try to do things that's outside of your scope.
Right.
But like in a much more nicer way. Like,
yeah.
He's just like, I know your limitations because we've been friends for a long time.
Right. Yeah, and so you kind of get the idea. But the father's also like, see, I found one for you. So it's kind of like he's going, and like people who are like possessed enough that they can't just be exorcised. He calls in John Constantine to come in and do the dirty work.
Yeah, because this one has to stay off the books.
Yeah.
Because, if you guys don't know, for Roman Catholics out there, if they, I don't know if they still perform exorcisms, but for a priest to actually be able to perform one legally in the eyes of the church, you have to get permission from the Vatican.
Right.
And all that stuff. And that, come on. What is it called? Paperwork takes weeks.
Right, especially when you're getting the approval from another country.
Totally time difference,
Yeah.
Now it might be easier, you just shoot them an email on Teams.
Right, yeah, but I feel like it was like you have to review it, then you get on the plane and you go and you fly across the country, you plead your case, then you fly back and you wait for them to send somebody to you to come assist. So it's like,
weeks.
Yeah.
And so in the car, you could tell Shia LaBeouf, who's playing Chaz. At first, when he's in the taxi, I thought he was doing a little taxi driver bit. And like, you talking to me?
Oh,
yeah.
He probably was.
Yeah. I'm Chaz. Chaz, was it Montgomery or something?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
That? Motherfucker. But he's trying to tell John, he's like, come on, man, you just can't keep me on the sidelines, John. You need a partner. And he's like, oh, what are you talking about? Everybody, you're like my Tonto, my Robin, my skinny guy and fat guy, which I didn't understand that comparison. I was like wondering if you knew.
I'm not sure.
Maybe it's like a Tommy Boy reference. You're my David Spade to my Chris Farley.
I don't know.
Right? Because they're like, I think they're the only ones that come into mind. They had like 3-4 movies together.
Yeah.
And especially in the 90s, like huge pairing. So, but no. And then meanwhile, we cut to Rachel Weisz's character Angela, who she's at the church. She's like praying she's at confession. Forgive me, Father. I haven't sinned. My last confession was 2 weeks ago. I killed another person. It's bullshit because she didn't say it like that, but she's like, some people in the service don't touch their guns ever.
Yeah, right. Because she's a police officer.
Yeah, but why am I always? How do I always find the trouble? How am I always on these cases?
Right. I always seem to be on these cases. I always know exactly where to shoot them. I always know.
Yeah, so she goes home. She gets ready for bed and everything. But as soon as she gets ready for bed, she wakes up in a hospital gown.
Right.
And she's at a church, not a church, a hospital. And then she goes upstairs or to the roof, which I was like, I always like this whole perception that you could just go on any roof from like movies,
right? Especially like in a
hospital.
Well,
like
an
mental,
asylum, a mental ward, not asylum.
You're thinking about Arkham,
yeah,
DC,
right.
But yeah, it just totally threw me off. I was like, oh, I'm just trying to get to the roof. Like, you can't go there.
Right, yeah.
But no, and so, she takes off a little bracelet, her patient bracelet, and then she jumps off.
Yep.
And through this glass into this water, and then she wakes up. Really cool little transition.
Right.
And all that stuff.
And it's a dream sequence.
It's a dream.
Or is it?
Yeah, meanwhile... I think what's it called? John Constantine. He goes to Papa Midnight's club,
right?
Because he's like he found it. It was really strange that this demon was trying to cross into their plane.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. So he wants to talk to Papa Midnight.
Yeah. And Chaz is like, "Oh, can I go down there with you?" He's like, "I'm not stopping you." But then, as they're trying to go, the guard is holding up a card, and he's like, "Was it 2 ducks?" in a pond or something.
Right, yeah, so it's like, he's like holding up, it looks like a tarot card.
Yeah.
And you have, they have to guess what's on the back side of the card.
Chaz tries like 2 ducks in a pond. He's like, nope. It's a rat in a dress. He's like, oh, come on, man. And so John is talking to Midnight. This is where he goes into this club, and it's filled with like all these people with like their little eyes shining.
Right. I was like looking into things about this movie, and I'll just throw this fun fact in here at this point because I'll forget by the end. All the people have like shiny eyes. Apparently, if you pay attention in the movie, everyone who is demonic has a red tint to their flashy eye, and everyone who's angelic has a yellow tint to their flashy eye. And so there's actually a couple places where you see like demons sitting on like an angel's lap, like canoodling.
Yeah, that's not allowed. You might accidentally create a Nephilim and destroy the universe, according to the supernatural.
Right.
But no, and so so he actually runs into Balthazar, who is a half-breed demon.
Yep.
We do learn later why all of these like other like creature, or not creatures, but like beings are just half-breeds.
Right.
And Constantine uses that like a slur. It's like an N-word.
Yeah, totally. Yes.
But no, he tells Balthazar leaves because Papa Midnight's like, no fighting in my club. This is a neutral. This is Switzerland.
Yep. Yeah.
No fighting. Right. But he keeps trying to ask Midnight to use this chair. He's like, I need to use the chair. And he's like, nope. So he ends up having to leave after getting refuted a couple times.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of moving parts just to set up this main plot. Meanwhile, what's it called? Angela wakes up, or like she gets a call, and she finds out that she has to go to the hospital where her sister is staying, and her sister, she had learned her sister committed suicide.
Right. Yeah.
But she's like, no, it's impossible. My sister would never do that. We're Roman Catholic.
Right. Devout Catholic, and committing suicide's a mortal sin.
Yeah. And so she's like, I have to go talk to the priest, because burial.
Right.
There's just, rules just like with any other religion. I believe Jewish people can't, not Jewish people, but I believe there's some religions where you can't donate. You can't donate your organs, because if you do, you can't pass on or something like that. Stuff like that. There's, same for, Catholic. You can't commit suicide. You can't be buried at the cemetery.
Right.
And meanwhile, at the same time, John is going to the same church as well. And they get to the thing, and they get to like the little front, and she like pops up right behind him. And she's like, I need to see the Father. And he's like, well, first come, first serve, lady.
Yeah.
And so he lets them both through. And I thought this would have been really funny if like they started walking faster. But no, so Angela goes to the Father, but meanwhile Constantine goes to the person that's by the fire.
Yep.
We're talking to 2 different people. Angela's there trying to talk to the Father to let her sister get buried at the cemetery. He's like, nah, it can't happen. Sorry, it's a sin, unfortunately. And then we learned that the person that John is trying to talk to is Gabriel.
Right. You get to see some wings, but it's like only John can see the wings kind of thing.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just us.
Or maybe it's just us, yeah.
But Gabriel's played by Tilda Swinton, and they're talking, and this is where we find out why John is doing what he's doing.
And it's really interesting because it definitely plays as a genderless role.
Yeah.
Which
angels are supposed to be like androgynous, like no sexual organs.
Yeah, because I remember when this came out, they were like, "What? They had a girl play Gabriel? He's an angel dude, and why would they?" But it's
see, this is why
like you said, androgynous. So like this was perfect. Like
it's not even like a biblically accurate portrayal of an angel. If you ever like go Google that. They look gross.
Right. They look like you think demons should look.
Or like
lots of eyes and
or you can possibly catch them with a Pokeball.
Yeah.
Like, but we learned that John is doing all this work because he wants to buy his way into heaven.
Yeah.
Because we do learn slightly, it's very hinted at that John had committed suicide.
Right.
And
that he had been born with an ability that they call the sight,
Yeah.
where he can distinguish the difference between angels and demons and people.
Yeah.
And basically he thought he was crazy as a child. So
I mean, what else are you supposed to think, right?
yeah, and then once they medicate him and give him electroshock therapy and lock him up over and over again, he's just like, I'm just gonna kill myself.
He's like, I'm tired, right? But like Gabriel's like, you keep doing these good deeds, but if you're doing good deeds for selfish reasons, then it's just not gonna fly, bro. Like,
right.
Like, and he's like, well, what does he want? He's like, self-sacrifice.
Right.
It's always self-sacrifice, you know. And Gabriel's just like, you're fucked, bro.
Yep.
John is just like, ugh. He ends up leaving, and he ends up meeting with his friend Beekeeper, or B, as he like kind of nicknames him. And B gives B like this little moo toy.
Yeah.
Which I was like, what? But B comes with like the goods, you know. He has dragon's breath. He has
some holy water from the Nile River or something.
Yeah, the water, the Lake of Minnetonka or something. He has like one of like the entities from the Amityville house. And he's like, well, it just sounds like chitters to you, but to demons, it's nails on a chalkboard.
Yep. The screeching beetles.
So it's, really cool, like little thing. It's nice. It's a nice scene because it kind of like is like adding more to the lore.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For it all, right? And so,
because like in the comic book, like he's definitely like, wizardy. Like
yeah.
he's.
Well, like, if you read the comic books, everyone's like, you're just a con man. You're not a magic man.
Right.
But he's like, in DC, I believe he's like one of the most powerful like wizards. Not like in terms of power, but like
right.
his
he is
skills.
a wielder of magic. He's not like, he has no like magic ability besides like the sight.
Yeah.
But he has learned all these tricks and these
techniques, and he's built up
artifacts and stuff, and learned how to use them.
Yeah, if he had to put it in terms, he's like Link from Zelda.
Right.
He just has all the toys. He's like a magical Batman.
Yeah.
No Dr. Fate type of powers, but he has like the tools to fight with Dr. Fate.
Right. Yep.
And so they kind of reconvene that time, but then Angela goes home. She's reviewing the footage of her sister at the CCTV, and one of them catches like her sister Isabel saying Constantine.
Right.
And then she distinctly remembers the guy's name, and so she's just like, I gotta go see him.
Yeah.
And so she goes to see Constantine. First he like kind of like turns her away, but then she says something that kind of catches his attention.
Right. And then he starts seeing like shadows outside.
Yeah. And he's like, whoa, hold on. So he catches up to Angela and he's like, oh, do you believe that there is a battle going on between, God and the devil and all this stuff? And he's...
And not so much even a battle, like a bet. Like it's like a game. See.
Yeah, for these two entities.
Yeah.
Right? And then like before he can even finish trying to convince her, like the streetlights all start shutting down.
Yeah.
And then he like,
that's always creepy.
Yeah. And then he like flicks his lighter and it's all these demons around her.
Yeah.
And I think he shoots like the breath of the dragon around the place, right?
Well, he's got like a cloth or something that he like wraps around his hand and lights and holds it up.
Oh yeah, super cool scene. It kind of reminded me of that Riddick movie.
Totally, yes, yep.
And so she like mind blown because she's like, "What the hell was that?" Meanwhile, Father Hennessy, he's like searching through papers and he's hearing voices until one catches his attention. It says Isabel, and it's an article of Angela's sister.
Yep.
You know, patient commits suicide at the hospital. So he goes to the morgue, which I was like, man, for a big slow guy, he snuck in there really.
And you can at this point you can tell that he also has some kind of psychic ability. And so so he's not wearing the little protective little amulet that
closes off the ability.
That closes, and that's where you can kind of tell that, like, it was like, oh, like he wasn't necessarily wearing that to protect himself from other things. He was doing it to
shut the voices off.
Yeah, keep the voices out.
But unfortunately, he touches Isabel's body, and then he has a premonition, or something like that. And then so he freaks out. He tries to drink from his flask. Nothing comes out, and he runs away. But you notice on the floor it's wet, from the alcohol, right? And so he runs across the street. He pushes the security guard out of the way. Bah! And he runs into this liquor store, and he's like smashing bottles, trying to drink it. Nothing is dropping into his mouth.
Right. Yep.
And then we noticed that Balthazar had been following him. Yeah. And not letting him perceive himself drinking, but he pretty much drinks himself to death.
Right. Yeah. He goes through and drinks bottles and bottles of hard alcohol.
But before he dies, he carves the symbol that was on Isabel's wrist onto his hand. Yeah. Because he's like, I know John's gonna see this. Yeah. You know, and then we see like a little standoff between Balthazar and then an angel.
Right. And you kind of get that as like there's like this flash between like John Constantine's trying to explain
what happened to him as a kid.
Yeah, and the world of, angels and demons, and then you're seeing, then it's flashing to the priest while you're still hearing him talk, and you see the priest die, and then you see Balthazar, and you can kind of see him as the demon, or half demon, and then you see like the cashier is like holding the dead body, and he's got wings. He's kind of like the half angel, and it's like
super cool scene.
Yeah,
it's a great way to have visuals during like an exposition dump.
Right. Yep.
Right. And so before they even sat down to eat during this whole exposition dump, he does call beekeeper. Right. His guy, his what's that guy's name from Blade? Whisper?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's Whisper. Whisker? No, that's from Resident Evil. I don't know. The old guy. Yeah. He tells them about the symbol, and so he finally calls him back after the dinner, and he's like, oh no, what's it called? Angela and John go to the hospital, and he's like, you guys are twins, because he did go to hell before they went to see what happened to his sister.
Oh right, because he does a thing where he's like, well, let's see if she did commit suicide, because if she did, she'll be in hell. Yeah. So let me take a look.
And she was like, oh, is this cat your sister? She's like, yeah. I was like, all right, cool. That's good. And they're half in, half out anyway. See, this is how I know cats are demons. Right. That's why they're always witches familiars. Colby's a warlock. He's only ever had cats. And so they go to the hospital. He's like, figure it out. You guys are sisters. It doesn't matter how long you guys have been estranged. You guys grew up together. You guys have like a little weird twin
bond, mental bond. He's like, when you were kids, you could finish each other's thought, you could finish each other's sentences. That doesn't go away, even though
And he freaks her out enough for her to like unlock some sort of memory. Yeah. And then she had like her sister had left her notes on the window using her finger. Right. And then I was just grossed out because I was like, oh, so nobody just cleans. Nobody just cleans these windows, huh? They just let that shit on there.
Yep.
But it leads to a Bible passage, Corinthians 17, which doesn't exist.
Right.
I think it goes up to like 12.
Yeah.
And then so John explains to her, well, in hell, it goes up to 21.
Right. Yep.
And B somehow has a copy from hell.
Right. A hell Bible.
She's like, "There's a Bible in hell," and he's like, if you want to know your enemy, you got to study them.
Yep.
But B is able to tell John that the passage Corinthians 17 leads to a being called Mammon, who like originally in Catholicism, Mammon is just like an idea of like greed and money and all that stuff. I believe in Hebrew it means money as well. But then in later iterations, it becomes one of the 7 princes of hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Bible Sunday school, for teaching me all these things that I never use. I get to use it today, I guess.
I know. I have to say, it's totally off the subject here, but on the subject, but off the movie. Yeah, I am not a religious person in any means, but I grew up going to church, and my parents were like, "We're going to teach you what we believe, and then like you figure out what you want to do, and that's fine. Whatever it is, it's fine." But there are so many movies and books that make reference to those kind of things that like it just, I'm glad it's like almost like history. Yeah. Like I'm glad I learned some history so that like when I hear stories about pirates, like I'm like, oh hey, I remember history class.
Scurvy
that makes
was a
sense.
lack of vitamins.
Yeah, I'm like all these like little things. If you had zero religious like upbringing, knowledge, if you're just like atheist parents who are like, we're not teaching you anything about God because that's a joke, then like you get to these movies and you're like, I miss a lot. It's like kind of like you watch comic book movies and you're like, hey, I used to read a lot of comic books, so I like see the things in the background and I see the Easter eggs. And
it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing for life,
Yeah, just be a well-rounded person, even if beliefs or not. Just
Yeah, definitely. I think religion. This is people are gonna be like, oh no, don't talk about religion. I'm just for me, religion is a nice way to teach moral compasses. Like, teach a person how to, and then everything else after that is kind of like it's up to you. It just sucks when like. If you're a fanatic and you start hurting people, it's like, well, that's completely
right
against what you're doing. But back to the subject. B starts to get freaked out because he feels like something is coming, and so he tells John before he unfortunately dies. He's like, John, I know you don't have faith, but even if you don't believe in him, he believes in you. And so he tells Angela, get there fast. But unfortunately, we find B being eaten by bees, which I was like, that's you're an asshole. You're an asshole. John starts constructing a holy weapon, a holy Tommy gun shotgun.
Right. It looks like the old street sweeper shotgun, like big. Rotating barrel shotgun.
It's sweet.
That shoots blessed bullets.
It is super sweet. And John is just like, I know where I have to go. And it's because of what's it called? Angela. Well, before he starts constructing this gun, Angela tells John, I need to unlock everything because I used to be able to see things like my sister, but I closed myself off of that. Yeah, and now I think I need it to complete help my sister get out of hell, and so like he forces her to almost die by water, and then she's like, well, why water? And John is like, it's a universal conduit,
right,
for things to slip through different planes, and so they go back to the bowling alley, and then Angela's able to find the coin that Balthazar likes to fiddle with in his hand, which she also does. And John automatically knows what it is. Yep. And so he constructs this this holy sweeper and completely fucks Balthazar in the ass. And it's funny because John is threatening to send Balthazar to heaven.
Right. He's like, oh, I've got this ancient Bible. I'm gonna forgive you, and I'm gonna pardon you, and then I'm gonna kill you, and you're gonna go to heaven.
Which, you know, in turn, I was thinking, is like, well, if he sends him to heaven, then maybe he'll just get like, what's it called, holy blasted into like non-existence. He's not even gonna go to hell. He's gonna go into the void.
Right.
Like, you know, because like it was funny. Like I'm a huge supernatural nerd. Like I've watched like the 15 seasons. Probably 3 to 4 times, which is really unhealthy. I have it on the background sometimes, you know, and like it's really cool because then like in the later seasons they talk about, well, where do you think monsters and demons and angels go if they die? And it's just it's like a non-existent plane where it's just black. And so like that's probably where he's like, oh, I'm more terrified of that than pissing off like Satan or Lucifer.
Yeah, right.
All right. So
right, because he's like, hey, I'm half demon. If you kill me, I'm just gonna go to hell.
I'm just gonna go home.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're gonna try to absolve me, okay, hold on. And so he completely explains what's happening, because what's it called? B told John the way that Mammon can come over is if he has divine guidance or divine help.
Right.
And they're like, well, God's not going to let him come over to this plane, because earlier we do find out that the reason why there's half-breeds is because full breed demons and angels can't cross over into our plane. But the way that they can kind of loophole that is sending halfers. Yeah.
Which are still not supposed to necessarily directly interfere. They're only supposed to whisper and suggest.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's totally freaking Darth, what's his name? Darth Sidious.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Yep.
And so he totally spills like, well, you know, it doesn't have to be directly from God. There's some God juice out there. Hold on, that's weird. I'm saying that like there's like a jar of God semen somewhere. No, so this is where they bring...
It was a different God juice that made Jesus. So
no, so they say that the Spear of Destiny has been found, and that's what we're going to use to bring Mammon over into this plane. You've already given us the psychic that we need, because that's when Angela comes into the room.
Right.
They're like, you're completely fucked now, John. And so as they, John completely obliterates this guy after. He's like, well, hold on, we had a deal. Obliterates John. And then, what's it called? As they're leaving, this dark figure comes and completely, just finishes the job. Sends Balthazar to the void.
Right, yep.
And then as John and Angela are leaving, Angela is like, she's like, whoa, what's going on? She feels a disturbance in the forest until she gets ripped out of the building.
Right, through 7 walls.
It's like invisible juggernaut running through the building.
Yeah, yep.
And John is like, what the hell? And so after that, you know, what's it called? Angela gets thrown into the same place her sister got thrown into.
Right.
And so John goes to Midnight, and he's like, no, I need to use the chair.
Right.
Convinces Midnight, because Midnight is like very new. He's like, I don't want any part of this whole situation. But John is like, Beekeeper and Hennessy used to be your friends too. You know, you're the only one left playing by the rules.
Right. Yeah.
And he somehow convinces Midnight. And they go use the chair.
Right.
Which, the chair entailed him almost dying again.
Right. So it's basically the electric chair that was from Sing Sing.
Yeah, like it's probably copped like 5,000 to 6,000. I don't know, a lot of bodies, right?
A lot of bodies.
Yeah.
It was like the old electric chair. He drags it out. He faces it east.
Yeah, he faces it east. It's very important. And we go through a sequence of events that's happened throughout the movie,
right?
Which lets him know how he has to stop this.
Yeah.
But one thing I gotta say, I forgot to mention this before. Early on in the movie, it is revealed that John has lung cancer.
Oh, right, because he's a chain smoker.
You know, you just can't.
He is smoking nonstop.
You can't smoke 30 cigarettes a day. That's like, I think, a pack or 2.
Right.
a day without, possibly getting, lung cancer. And so,
And that is accurate to the comic. He is a chain smoker in the comic as well.
it's his only vice. No, and so, that's why I say he's gonna die again. But he figures out what he has to do. So Shia LaBeouf starts making holy bullets, and he kind of he exhibits knowledge. He's like talking about half breeds. He's talking about with these bullets and all that stuff, and they're kind of impressed.
Right.
And Shia LaBeouf is just like, no point on being in the bench if you're not ready to get tagged in.
Yeah, and then he even makes a comment about a couple holy artifacts that have been used to bless water, to make holy water, since none of them are priests.
Yeah.
And he said that one priest had actually, at one point in time, had blessed the rain, so that as the rain fell, it burned away the evil of the land.
Yeah, and grew plants in Africa.
Right.
That's the only blessed rain I know.
Bless the rain down in Africa.
So the whole plan is to storm this hospital. Chaz's duty is to put this artifact into the sprinkler system.
Right.
And John goes into a room full of demons, and he's just like, I'm giving you a chance to get the fuck out.
Right.
Before I have to balance the scales. Which is super, like, it's just, and they're like, it looks like their hubris is getting to them. It's like, well, there's about 40 demons in here.
Yeah.
And just one of you with a holy sweeper. And then he lights the sprinkler system, and they're like, holy water, and they just start melting.
Yeah.
And living up to its name, it starts sweeping the room.
Oh yeah. Yep. It's a fun, impressive scene.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the scenes that holds up the best in this movie.
Right. Yeah.
Because this movie is pretty heavy CG, and it's pretty dated at this point.
They do a good mix. They do some practical, they do some CG, but they don't overuse it. And like some of the movies from back then, like you watch it and you're like, oh my goodness, somebody needs to digitally remaster this.
Yeah, most of the CG scenes here are like when he's in hell, which isn't too bad as well, but you can totally tell it's a green screen. Like when John was like running away from the demons.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. But when he crushed the little soul gem, whatever, on his chest, that was a really cool scene. Yeah. That's a magic card if I ever saw one.
Definitely.
Oh, path to
proxy.
But no, meanwhile, Angela is in the same room, and she gets taken over by Mamon, because the guy from Mexico finally gets to LA, right, and is able to help Mamon pass into her body.
And we kind of mentioned it, but so the blade that he found, that's the tip of the spear that was of destiny, that was used to pierce the rib of Jesus while he was on the cross. Yeah. So it's got the blood
of destiny, or the blood of Jesus, of God juice. No, and so so Mamon is now in Angela, and what's it called? John and Chaz are able to sort of quell the possession. Right, it's still inside of her, but he's able to almost completely exorcise it. Yeah. Until Chaz gets murdered. Yeah. Which I was like, oh, I totally forgot this happened. Right. Yeah, he gets
basically an invisible being grabs him and just pummels him.
Yeah, and this is where, like, Chaz is like, damn, John, you're right. It's not like the books. Because, Chaz was, like, hype. He's been reading, he's been studying, and this is his first time on the field, and it just sucks. It's the rookie that dies under your watch. Yeah. And then so John, he rolls up his sleeves. He has this tattoo, his sigil pretty much, and he's like, come out. Right. And from the ceiling comes Gabriel. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not a foot guy. I'm really not, but I was like
Tilda's got some nice feet.
Yeah, I maybe it was the outfit that was doing it for me, and then like I was like feeling weird. because I never understand feet, but maybe it was the position. It was hot. But I know Gabriel is explaining to John, is like, I just don't get it. I don't get it why he loves you so much. Why he loves your kind.
Right.
Because demons and angels, there's only one thing that they're supposed to do. Angels are only supposed to worship. They're not supposed to have free will or anything like that. And they're not supposed to speak out.
Yeah.
And demons are this and that, but he can absolutely just destroy them if he wanted to. And so I'm letting Mamon cross over, and the humans that stay will be molded to be able to deserve his love.
Right, yeah. Then they'll really suffer, and when they're really suffering, if they still love him, then they'll deserve the love he gets back. They get back.
Yeah, tantrum, pretty much.
Right. Yeah.
And so Gabriel flicks John out of the room.
Right.
And is going to finish bringing Momon into our plane. But then John is like, nope. I'm a sore loser. Not going to happen. He slits his wrist again. Yeah. And this is probably like my favorite scene in the movie. Because as he's lying, he's bleeding out. Meanwhile, Gabriel's about to stab Angela and bring Momon out. Time stops. And then tar just starts flopping down from the ceiling. And it's Lucifer.
Right.
And it's like probably like my favorite interaction in this whole movie. It's like evil, like whimsically evil.
Yeah.
Because Lucifer, they had mentioned,
but it's that like jokey evil that makes almost like when you're seeing an evil clown. Like, it's
very Joker-like.
Yes, yeah. And it makes it even scarier.
Yeah. And they're talking, John, and he's like, it's already been mentioned before that Lucifer would come up to collect this soul himself.
Right.
But John is like, how's the family? Come on, Lou. You waited 20 years. What's 20 more seconds?
Right. Your son's in the other room. Yeah. Don't you want to go say hi?
And he's like, "Whoa, nope, that's not supposed to happen. Nope." And he's like, is this another con?" Which is really great because it just makes you know that John's conned the devil once before.
Right. Yep.
He outplayed him on the violin. And so this is probably it's another CG scene, but it's actually it holds up a little bit well. Like if you just digitally remastered it, a lot better.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. But he like flicks the door open and the glass shatters. And then he moves Angela out of the way. Gabriel stabs the tile.
Right.
And he's like, "Oh," and Gabriel's like, "Oh, fuck." Little horn, calling him all these old names, and he's like, "Oh, how I miss the old names." And Gabriel tries to, that's the word I was looking for, smite. Which, first of all, maybe you'll do like a little damage. But, against Lucifer, yeah, it's like, it'll hurt, but it's not gonna...
But you got the spear tip.
Yeah.
Maybe that does...
Well, Gabriel was gonna try to punch him. And almost the force feels like it's almost there until it gets to his face.
Yeah.
And it stops, and he's like, "Uh-oh, looks like someone doesn't have a backing anymore," and blows her wings off.
Right. Yep.
Pretty much turning her human according to City of Angels lore.
Yeah.
Another Nicolas Cage great.
Right. Or Dogma.
Or Dogma, yes,
right?
It's true.
Chop off the wings of an angel that become human.
And so he sends Momon back into hell.
Yep.
And he tells John, he's like, "All right, well, you were right. What do you want? An extension or whatever?" Because he has, like, I think there's like maybe some sort of like bond or like thing that he has to fulfill.
Right, because this was a little bit of self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
He did this not.
Well, like the self-sacrifice, he has to fulfill, like, maybe it's like a favor that he's like, I don't want to owe anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's where like he's like, well, what do you want, John? And he's like, I want Isabel to go where she belongs.
Right.
And he's like, ah. And there's like another little comical thing. He's like, fine. And then he's like, but you're coming home with me. And he starts to drag John. Yeah. Until he can't anymore.
Right. That was a great scene too.
Yeah.
I remember how powerful that was sitting in the movie theater. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. And John looks like he's about to get like raptured into heaven. But then Lucifer's like, no, he's mine.
Yep.
Grabs John from the back. Very, almost erotic. It's like an eroticism that's going on. And he digs into John's chest. Yep. And pulls out the lung cancer. Yeah. And heals John. He's like, no. I'm going to give you more time to fuck up.
Right. Because you belong to me, and we both know that you're not good enough to go to heaven. So,
and we both know if I give you enough time, that you're going to fuck up again.
And he almost does in a minute.
Yeah, so he goes back into the room where Gabriel and Angela are in. Yeah. And Gabriel's like, hey, don't you want revenge?
Right.
Don't you want to blast me away? Like, here's the holy sweeper. Sweep.
Right.
And then he decks Gabriel in the face. Yeah. And Gabriel's just like,
and he's like, here on Earth we call that pain. Get used to it.
And then as John is walking away, Gabriel's like, see, I was right, John. Look at you. Yeah. You deserve it. Self-sacrifice.
Right? See, and I was like, if he would have shot Gabriel's human, at that point it would have been murder. It would have been like immediately like...
Lucifer comes back up like, wow, that didn't take long. But no, Angela and Constantine, they have like this moment on the roof where Isabel had jumped off. Constantine gives Angela the spear, and she's like, hide this somewhere where even I can't find it. Yeah. Because that is a really powerful artifact, and it's in the wrong hands. It's a very Batman situation, right? He's like, I don't want to have that.
Right, yeah. It's Superman handing a piece of kryptonite to Batman and being like, hide this where no one's going to be able to get it.
Yeah, and like if I do need it, I have to go through you type of situation. And, yeah. You know, they have this little moment where it makes you feel like... I'm super glad that they didn't kiss.
Right.
Yeah, because I was like, this... You know, it's not that type of movie. No, not like that. But it's just... I feel like, you know... Well, it would have fit for the early 2000s just to throw in romance wherever.
Right. But it was cute because earlier in the movie when he gives her the necklace to... she thinks he's gonna kiss her, and she's like kind of leans in, and then he puts the necklace on, and then like walks off. And so here, John's like I'll see you around, and she's like goes to like lean in, like she's gonna kiss him, and then just walks off, and he's kind of like oh.
And then Constantine's looking to the LA, you know, the landscape and the cityscape, and then it looks like he's about to smoke another cigarette, but he puts a nicotine gum in his mouth and he starts chewing. Now this has to be probably one of the, not like the first movies that have done it, but a very early iteration of a scene after the credits are done rolling. Right. Which he goes to visit Chaz's grave, and when he turns back, these angel wings sprout out, and Chaz is maybe a full angel or a half-breed angel.
And then you're like, you get stuck with that because if you think back, you certainly didn't think the guy behind the counter at the liquor store is an angel. Yeah. But then when Hennessy's dying, he comes out, wings pop, and he's like holding them. Was Chaz always an angel?
I think John would have known because remember he could see. That's my thing. But I was also like,
maybe that's why he knew so much.
Yeah, but I was also thinking as like John maybe because he looked back and he sees it and he was like, well, he's like, hey, don't fuck up before I gotta send you.
Right. Yep.
Before I gotta balance the scales again. And the movie's done right there. Before we get into our thoughts of the movie, let's get into our other section. We have high star and low star.
Low star. That sounds like a guy who would be flying on like a spaceship in like an 80s cartoon.
It's actually really cool. It's a really cool name for a ship.
10 out of 10. Either you love it or you don't. Constantine is one of those movies that are adapted from a comic series. Now, people in comic stories often seem pretty wild in the eyes of the watchers and the readers. Just think of Batman. Isn't Gotham City crazy? Constantine, I think, is a most excellent picturization of the comic stories. I like it's most excellent because Bill and Ted right there. Yeah. It's full packed with action. The story is quite entertaining. There's wit. The actors are amazing. The way of filming is great. Just watch these pictures and camera stills. Beautiful. Constantine is worth going to a movie theater. The picture may blow you away. It is stunning. Go watch it and make your own point of view. My name is Constantine. Joe Constantine.
And then we have 1 out of 10, god awful. Horrible supernatural thriller that lacks any kind of intelligence to it. Keanu Reeves syncs up the screen in probably his worst performance since The Watcher. The special effects were bad, and the script is an insult to some of the good actors who are in the movie. Rachel Weisz literally held the film together by herself with a performance that this movie clearly did not deserve. And I can't say that name. Hunsu, who plays Papa Midnight, does more with his role than Keanu himself, and he's not in the movie very much. The rest of the cast is marginal at best, but it's more the fault of the script and the director than they are. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, the director for this is Francis Lawrence, who directed the series The Hunger Games. Yeah. Which is probably like the big money maker for him.
Right.
What are some of your favorite parts of this movie?
I really did enjoy this. I've watched it a number of times over the years. Like I originally saw it in the movie theater. It's been a few. Oh man, it's probably been
a couple years.
Yeah, a couple years at least since I've seen this. But like super entertaining. I really enjoy. Unlike that second review, I thought everybody. Like I say, if you separate it from the comic book, you have to do that.
Yeah.
Now there's enough comic movies out there. I think people are getting
used to separating the source.
Yeah. I think everybody played the parts really well. The guy who plays Lucifer, even though he's only in it for 4 minutes at the end of the movie, like that was such a powerful role that I don't know if I ever saw him before this, but I immediately recognize him as Lucifer in every movie I've seen ever since. Like,
yeah, no, this guy is like one of those characters. Like in our last week's movie, the guy who played Roach.
Yeah,
he's that type of character because he's in a lot. I remember him from Armageddon, the Big Lebowski. What else? The Tuxedo.
Yep.
Bad Boy Sue. He's kind of like one of those actors that he has because he has like a bad guy face.
Right. I think he's in American Gods, the series, and he plays like a Thor, maybe. But it's if you haven't seen that, it's
a good show too. He plays a Zimbog.
Yeah.
Zernbog, Belobog, Pelobian deities. Okay, yeah, no, he just has like sort of that face to him. Like I kind of wish I could see this guy in a good guy role for once. Like the badass with the heart of gold, or the hard ass with the heart of gold.
Right, but like whether he's like, the a Russian mob leader or like he just he's so good. And like I said, like he was so memorable in this that like I get flashbacks of this movie even 20 years later now.
Yeah.
When I see him in something.
Yeah, no, yeah, like I said, like that whole sequence with him and John is probably like my favorite.
Yeah.
In the whole thing, just because it's like it adds like a little bit of like this comedy and this tense situation. He really chews up the scenery that he's in, because he's only in this movie for like a tops collectively maybe 5 minutes,
Right?
If that, which is crazy.
And I kind of forgot that Shia LaBeouf was in this, but watching this, I was like, it reminded me. I'm like, I really liked Shia LaBeouf. Like I'm sad that he's not in much stuff anymore.
Yeah, and I think that's more of like a personal, maybe like his like mental health,
right? And
like that.
and I totally understand that, but it just
he's a good actor.
Yeah,
which is like a shame that we don't get to see them more. But maybe he's gonna have like his whole LaBeouf-essence, you never know. The right role might come by, because even before, like after this movie, I believe like Keanu took maybe a 7 to 8 year hiatus from big movies. He was doing like small like indie films,
right?
But maybe he was just kind of tired of the whole scene. I mean, obviously he's back now with the John Wick series, and he even did like a reboot.
Yeah,
not a reboot.
But even the first John Wick wasn't
big.
Yeah. Like it was one of those things where like I never even heard of it, and then I just caught it like late night on
television,
on like some streaming service. I was like, John Wick, what?
Keanu Reeves.
And I got done watching it. I was like, that had basically no story, but it was like
what are you talking about?
Non-stop action from like open to close.
Yeah, what are you talking about? That had the story. You would have gone John Wick if someone killed your cat.
Right. But yes, exactly. But it was and it's amazing that they made that into a franchise.
Yeah. It's like four to five movies deep now.
And they're doing spin-off series. They're doing a series off the hotel.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how much longer Keanu Reeves can do that. He's like maybe like closer to 50.
Right.
It would, because it'd be nice to just see Keanu Reeves not do action, but like maybe just do a couple more comedies. Because he's like a fun.
He just signed on to do another Bill and Ted movie.
Well, if it's there.
Yep.
And maybe the other actor need.
I think so. But apparently they're like
actual friends,
good buddies in real life. Yeah.
I can't imagine not being not having, like being friends with everybody, because like it's very rare that you do see like Keanu Reeves like ever mad. I have seen him one video where he was kind of like upset, but he still signed somebody. I think maybe that person was probably just like really annoying him.
Oh, yeah.
But he's just like, all right, here, like, can you please just give me some space?
And he's
like Paul Rudd before Paul Rudd.
Yeah, he seems like just the most genuinely decent person.
Yeah. Oh man, but like yes, a couple other parts of my favorite parts of this film. A couple other parts that were favorites of mine was just the lore building of everything.
Right.
Whether it was B giving him all these really cool weapons, explain, because they're like pulled a little bit from real life like places like the holy water and all that stuff, and just like really cool gadgets that that were getting shown, because obviously in the comics we know, or like at least me and Colby know, that like John Constantine has the House of M, or like was it the House of M, right?
Yeah.
House of Mysteries, where it's like filled with all of these like artifacts, and the reason he keeps it in there is because it's hard to even access the house.
or if you saw the ill-fated single season of the John Constantine WB show, that was pretty good. I was sad that didn't make it, but he did a reoccurring role on Heroes of Tomorrow.
Yeah,
and then we got to go back to the house a couple times, and
yeah, that one was a shame too, because I remember watching the first episode and it had like a really good dark tone, which is really fitting for the Constantine universe.
Yeah.
And then, like, after that, it completely switched to a lighter tone.
Right.
And it's just like, oh, man, like, because at first it was on NBC.
Okay.
Yeah, Constantine was on NBC because, like, they wanted to kind of ride off the CW hype of all the superhero shows. The first episode was really dark. It was really cool. It had like little shots of like little Easter eggs. Like Constantine had Fate's helmet. You know, he just kept it like in the storage because it was too powerful an artifact for anyone to have and all that stuff. And then it had all these dark undertones of like demon possession. It was actually kind of creepy, like the first episode, and then after that is where it fell off for me because it became like a CW show, and I was like, oh, that's not what I wanted, dude.
Right.
I wanted like, you know, because like CW had Supernatural, but NBC had Grimm. Did you ever watch that show?
Oh yeah, I liked Grimm.
Yeah, I like that. I love that because they even highlighted a couple of like Filipino like mythological figures and all that stuff. So it was like a really great show, and that one was pretty dark for the earlier seasons.
Right. Yep.
Obviously, it got more CW as it went on, but you know, yeah, no, like I was saying, like my favorite parts of this was just being able to build the lore. I think for a 2-hour movie, I think it was pretty well paced. Like, there wasn't really too many dull moments where it kind of just felt filler.
No, yeah, totally. I feel like it was, yeah, like it ran real smooth.
Yeah. So, like, obviously early on when this movie got first announced, I think you probably still had the store because this movie came out 2005, so the news probably broke out 2004 that Keanu Reeves was going to be John Constantine.
Right, yep.
Were you hearing chatters like Keanu can't play Constantine?
Definitely. You had people for and against, but at that point, like Hellblazer was
Old,
kind of old, yeah. And so it wasn't. I think it came out and 75% of the people who went and saw it didn't know it was a comic book movie.
Yeah, they just went to see Keanu Reeves slice some demons.
Right.
And Shia LaBeouf was pretty big as well during that time. He was probably coming off of Holes and like Even Stevens and all that stuff. So,
right, yep.
You know, really cool. All right, we're getting up to our closing.
Well, here I got a couple real fun facts. So when he very first when they're in Mexico, and he steps and he breaks and he pulls out the spear is like wrapped in a Nazi flag.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And that because Hitler actually had the spear for the beginning of the war. And
is that facts?
That's fact. Supposedly he never lost a major battle while the spear was in his possession, and then the train that he had it on got robbed and it got stolen, and then he started having his losing streak after that.
Okay, so that's not facts. That's
but
like
no, he legitimately collected
occult items,
and he did own it.
Oh man, I feel like he had something. I feel like the Vatican would have had that a long time ago, because the Vatican has like this underground library.
Well, right, but if the Nazis were basically just taking over everything, and so
that's true. They could have plundered the Vatican. Do you think so? I don't
know. The exact item, the same prop, was used
in Hellboy.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that Easter egg. I was like, "Is that the freaking spear?" Doesn't Oh yeah, but
and then the original John Constantine was created by Alan Moore, the writer, and so he had done 2 other movies, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and From Hell, and he was so disappointed with the way that those movies were translated into movies that he refused to allow his name to be on any future movies. But even though they paid him, he was like, "If I'm not taking credit for this," so he gave all of his money that he was gonna get for this movie, and he gave it to all the artists that had worked on
those series.
Oh,
that's really good for him.
That's right.
He's like, all right, don't say I don't get you guys paid, all right? Oh man. Well, let's see how much this. Okay, and this movie didn't flop.
No, it did pretty well.
Yeah, it made more than double its budget. Yeah. So I'm really excited for the second one. But if you guys are just joining us, or if this is the first time you guys are joining us, thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out our other months. We have a bunch. We have holiday theme months. We have
Oh man, always like when we get to this point, I'm like, I should remember more. We have live action video games. We have library themed months. We have
Girl fight club months.
right, yep.
Which is kind of people are gonna be like,
Ninja
girl fight.
month.
Yeah, dancing ninja. So we definitely have those. But the way that we do our reviews, we have it in 4 different sections. We have Stream It, DVD, Blu-ray, and the Ultimate Box Collection. Colby, where are you at for this one?
This is definitely like Blu-ray, especially if there's any kind of extras. And
there has to be.
apparently there is a bunch of stuff that was cut out because they made. I saw something where there was one of the demons that's in the bar on the way into Papa Midnight's, like, is just like sitting at the bar, and it's like a cameo of somebody famous, but they're only in it for like 1 second. But apparently there's like a fight scene with that person in it also.
Oh, okay.
And then there's also, I guess, an extended fight scene between Keanu Reeves and one of the girl demons.
In the hospital scene?
In the hospital scene.
Oh, see. Yeah, I can imagine that there's a bunch. Because I would also go Blu-ray for this, easy.
Right.
Because, first I'm a Keanu Reeves fan, and then I'm also a Constantine fan with the supernatural and all that stuff.
And we wait till they come out with the second movie, and then we get like
Dual discs,
steel box with some kind of
a sigil on the back or something like that. Yeah. Really cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out our socials.
Oh yeah, we got our Facebook, our Twitter, Threads, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, follow us on everything, please.
We're always like recommending movies and all that stuff on there, so definitely check that out. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check it out, it does our theme music. It is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music Podcast 3, and our Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.